Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. It's Ava's Life here. Today I'm going to be teaching you how to make a DIY skincare Labubu. Now we're going to be changing a ugly Labubu into a baddie Labubu. So without further ado, make sure you like and subscribe and turn on those notification bells to get notified whenever I post a new video. So let's get started. First, we're going to show you the supplies. First, you're going to need paper. You're also going to be needing to use markers. I definitely use alcohol markers, but you could use any markers, or you could use pencils, colored pencils, or crayons, or whatever thing you could use to color with. You're also going to be needing to use a pencil. I would recommend a pencil and nothing else, so that if you make a mistake, you could erase it. Next, you're going to be needing some scissors to cut. Also, you don't have to use a ruler. I'm not going to be using a ruler, but if you want to make perfectly straight lines, you could use a ruler. Next, you're going to be needing to use stuffing. This is not at all what I'm only going to use, but I'm just using this to show you how much I'm just going to be using this to show you what I use. You're also going to be needing a black file tip marker, or it could be a Sharpie, or it could just be a black thin marker, whatever you want. And that's really all we're going to be needing for today. So let's get started. I'm also going to be using this Labubu's head for reference. First, you're going to need to grab a piece of paper, fold it in half, like this. Now you're going to be needing to sketch out the design. You could look at a design from like Google, or you could look up how to draw it, or if you have a Labubu or a Lafufu at home, you could just copy only its head. You're also going to be needing to color it and be tracing it. So I'm going to grab my pencil and trace it. And trace it, sketch it, and color it. So, boop, boop. And I did it. This is what the sketch looks like. And also make sure that you hold on to the marker that you used, because you're going to be needing this for the edges and stuff. I'm going to hold this up of the camera just in case anyone wants to pause it and copy it. 3, 2, 1. Okay, now that you've paused it and copied it, you're going to be taking the back of the paper and just color the whole back the color that you used. By the way, you don't have to do this. My marker kind of gave up, but that's okay. So next, let's get on to the next step. Okay, now you're going to be taking your tape and laminating it. The way that you do this is just taking strips and then covering your Labubu. Guys, by the way, I'm going to have to be leaving soon, so this is going to be a 2-part video. Make sure that you're tuned for part 2, though. Okay, now I just taped over my Labubu. You can see that it is all shiny. So now we're going to have to cut out our Labubu. By the way, make sure that the Labubu is touching the edge. You can refold it if you need to. I have this little edge over here because I forgot to fold it. You're going to need it to be right here. So like these parts are, so the back and the front are connected, so then it's way easier to put together. Also, make sure that you don't cut the part where it's connected. Okay, now after you're done cutting it out, the back should unfold like this. Okay, so now we are going to be taping around it and making it into a type of like pocket, and make sure that you leave an edge open so that you could put the stuffing inside. By the way, you could use, if you don't have stuffing, you could use stuffing from an old pillow, or you can buy stuffing from Amazon, or you could use tissues, or you could also use a trash bag or any old bags or a Ziploc bag and crumble it up and stuff it in here if you don't have stuffing. You can do it like this, just putting singular pieces on, or you can put a piece of tape right here and then take your scissors and cut little slits into the tape, and then take the pieces and fold them onto the thing like that. And make sure you tape all around, but leave an edge open so that you could put the stuffing or the tissues in, or whatever you're using to stuff it. By the way, you don't have to make this a squishy. You can just color it and laminate it, and that would just be fine, and just cut it out, and it could just be a flat piece of paper that's like a Labubu, and then you could keep on doing this stuff if you don't want to stuff it. But you can always make it a squishy if you want to. Also guys, if you watched my other video on how to make a squishy, I made a Fruit Loops squishy. You can just skip the squishy part from now on. I should have told you guys this earlier. And just make it the squishy if you already watched that video. Okay, I just finished making it into a pocket. You guys can see that I left it open like a pocket at the top. So then now it's time to stuff it. So now you're going to take your stuffing and stuff it. Okay guys, now it is stuffed. You can just like pinch your fingers over the top and then squish it to see if it's squishy enough. So after doing this, you can tape the squishy, you can tape the top, but for me, I'm going to be cutting the back ears off because making them squishy is too hard, so I'm just going to leave the front ears on. You guys can just stuff the ears if you want to, but I'm just going to make it easier. Okay, now you're going to take your tape and you're going to do the same thing at the top and seal it shut. Okay guys, I just finished taping the top. And guys, that's it for part 1. But make sure that you stay tuned for part 2. So I'll see you all my lovely beauties in the next video. The next video is going to be making the makeup supplies and making this Labubu ugly. So stay tuned for that. Bye!